Hey guys, this is Paul Dolsky from Everything Horror Podcast. This is another off-season episode because the girlfriend is at work. But today we have none other than Matt from Gaming Hours again. I actually got in touch with him because unfortunately, since he missed the last episode when everybody was together, which was Until Dawn, he wasn't in the chat to just help discuss about the VR game, which is called Until Dawn Rush of Blood. So, as further ado, here's Matt with the mic to introduce himself, as always.
Hey, what's up? This is Matt from Gaming Hours, or Young Red Dog, 158, depending on how you know me. Today we're going to talk about Until Dawn Rush of Blood.
Yeah, so let's get started, shall we, Matt? So the first thing we want to talk about is that probably people want to know is there a story to the game, or is there something else? Like, I guess you could say, like, is there like a story mode rather than just shooting things?
There kind of is a story, but what he really does is, like, he introduces you to the level, and you'll follow him on, like, a track throughout the level, and he pretty much, like, talks to you. We'll say stuff like, watch, like, you better duck on the first level, called the Haunted Lodge. He'll be like, you better duck because there's, like, this thing teaching you that you can duck with a VR headset while it's on your head. You can actually duck your head to duck underneath things, if that makes sense.
So you literally gotta, like, duck, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, duck your head.
Huh. Interesting. So
yeah,
how else?
Because you have motion control.
Well, how else is the movement for the VR? Like, is it sturdy? Could it be better? Like, what would you say?
I haven't got to use the wands yet, but I used the controller, and the controller was fine. I've heard complaints about it, but for me, it was fine. When I do try the motion controllers, I've tried them at, like, GameStop on different games, but I just haven't tried them on this game. They seemed okay, but sometimes the camera loses track of the wands.
Yeah, that can be a downfall. You having to have the camera help you rather than just a controller, where the controller always knows what's going on.
Yeah.
All right, so you said there were 7 levels, I believe, right? And the first one was called, like, Haunted Lodge or something like that?
Yep. Haunted Lodge is the first one.
So
that's pretty much where you train.
Right. Okay, so that's your tutorial level, as it would be called, or considered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how many levels, or how long is the game, should I say?
Depending on if you know what you're doing, it can take 2 hours. 2 hours, let's just say 2 hours.
Okay, and how much is this Until Dawn Rush of Blood?
I believe it's $20.
Okay. So would you say, so if you were to pay $20 and you're saying you can pretty much beat it in 2 hours, would it be worth buying, or should you wait?
For $20, I think it's a good deal because it has replayability, and depending on if you hang out with a lot of friends, it can be really fun because you can pass the headset. But if you don't do that, it might not be worth it. But it is one of the best VR games, in my opinion.
So for someone like me who has not yet gotten a VR system just because of the cost of it, or because of, life bills and all that stuff, but for someone like me, would you say that's a day one purchase for me, or should I say there's, like, other horror games I should try first before Until Dawn?
Well, for a AAA game, that would probably be Resident Evil, I'd tell you to buy. But for a game that's only $20 and it's cheap, it'll probably be like the first game I'd tell you to buy that's horror related.
Okay. Now is Until Dawn Rush of Blood more like an arcade, or like how would you describe it?
Yeah, it's kind of like an arcade game. It's kind of like for fun. It wasn't supposed to be like Until Dawn, like the main game. It's kind of different in a way because you ride on a roller coaster, and the scares are kind of different too. In Until Dawn, for me, it seems like that game was more about like kind of like they try to have someone stalk you type of like that type of thing. Well, in this game, they just have stuff pop right in front of you while you're on the roller coaster.
So it's kind of like jump scared, like a roller coaster. Well, I can't really say like a roller coaster, but it's almost like if you go to Walt Disney World and go on like one of the horror rides or whatever. You're saying would that be it?
Exactly.
Yeah, that kind of
Yep.
ride. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. Like it's like if you go to a fair and they have like a haunted house roller coaster ride or whatever they call it these days.
Right.
And you ride one of those where they have like those the prompts on each side of you and they try to scare you. That's pretty much what it is. But since you're in VR, you have like blood leaking on your face, and you're wearing like a TV essentially on your face, you can actually see the blood dripping over your eyes. It's pretty cool. It's effective.
So you said there was target practice going on. So like, tell me a little bit more about that.
Yes, the Haunted Lodge, like at the beginning of it, he'll tell you to like aim your guns. And at one point, when you start moving the roller coaster, you start shooting these ducks. And it's pretty much practice. There is a trophy if you get all the ducks. But the first time you do it, you probably don't even know about the trophy, so.
Now,
But yeah, that's target practice.
Oh, yeah, okay. So what else do you shoot, I guess, besides ducks and targets? Because I'm assuming targets are in there.
Yep, there's targets, and then there's monsters that do pop up at you. For example, there is a monster that moves really fast. That it's kind of like the monster from the main game that like moves really quickly.
The Wendigo?
But her face, yeah, but the face kind of like it's hard to explain. The face moves really fast, like a horror movie, and she runs towards you, and you get these two shotguns or pistols depending on what you're going for. And you use those against her to shoot like fire barrels, pretty essentially. And then there's guys that stand on like ledges that throw like cocktails and stuff at you. It's pretty cool. So yeah, that's between the first and second levels. They started doing that.
Interesting.
And each level changes too. They have a different theme based on the game. Like one of them's a pig level, where it has a bunch of saws that can cut you unless you move your body to dodge the saws. Since you have virtual reality, you can actually move your whole body, and you'll actually dodge the to dodge it. But essentially, you're moving your head though.
Right. Okay. So I know like the main game had collectibles. What about Rush of Blood?
Yeah, Rush of Blood has collectibles, and they're called Skittles. And they're laying around every map, and I think each map has about 20 collectibles.
That doesn't seem too bad, but then again, look at the main game of Until Dawn. There was like 4 categories, and there was like, I don't know, maybe 20 or so, depending on what category you're looking at, you had to collect just for it.
Yeah, and the problem originally with this game was when the VR first came out, you couldn't watch YouTube with the VR. So you couldn't watch like VR YouTube. But now you can. You can watch YouTube in VR. So you can watch collectible guides if they have them in VR. Like I don't know if I haven't watched one recently that like from PlayStation Trophies, for example. I don't know if he has any like that. But you can watch those now in VR. But back then when I tried it, you had to like take your headset off to watch a video. And sometimes you might forget about a collectible, like I did.
And that happens. I mean, it's not anybody's fault. It's just the way the human brain is, especially if you're trying to watch YouTube via or VR headset instead of like, well, to say like me, like a laptop with the video, pausing it every like couple minutes or whatever so I can catch up with the video. Like, okay, I already got that one, so where's the next one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's harder to do that in VR pretty much because I think when you try to do it, it tries to kick you out of the game. Mm-hmm. So you have to keep going back and forth, and it can be a hassle.
Oh, jeez. Now, how easy are these collectibles?
I wouldn't say they're easy. I still don't have all of them. So some of them are complicated. Like they're high. Like you have to like look behind you, and it might be behind a door that you might not know that's there the first time until you start to really look around the room, like on every level.
Mm-hmm.
But your first time through, you might not get all the collectibles. But that's where the replayability comes in. Like if you play the level over and over again, they have different tracks you can go on. You shoot this little lever, and you might go on to a different section of the map. So that's another reason why the collectibles are a little tricky, because some people probably don't know about the levers to shoot them and go off to a different direction.
Interesting.
And that makes the map have pretty much two different spots you can go into, and it might be different on each spot. So
is there like one lever per level, or how many levers can be in one level? Like, how many have you came across?
I've seen about 2 in max, I think, in levels. You shoot it, you go on a different course, and then you can shoot it and go back on course if you wanted to.
Interesting.
So yeah, sometimes it does have multiple levers. There might be more than that. Like I said, I haven't gone for all the collectibles yet.
Right.
But there could be more than that.
Huh. And I guess you were mentioning something before we did this podcast, something about a boss fight.
Yes, it's pretty much Josh. Essentially, I think you're playing as Josh and you're inside of his head. You're like fighting his demons.
So it's like Josh inside his own brain kind of deal. Like
yeah.
Would you say it's normal Josh? Well, sorry to interrupt, but would you say it's normal Josh inside his brain, or do you think it's a different kind of Josh?
It's the Josh when he's playing as the killer. Like he's wearing that outfit.
Right.
Like if you play in the VR, you can look down and you can look at the jumpsuit he's wearing. It's just like the one that he's wearing in the game. So that's why I'm assuming that you're playing as Josh.
Okay.
And there is a boss fight though. It's on Psycho Cell Block. I believe that's the mission, where he's walking on the track with you, and as he's doing this, he's pushing back your cart. So like he's like kicking your cart backwards when you're supposed to go forward. And what you have to do is you have to shoot these like little cans to blow him up, and it hurts him. And I think you have to do this, and if you miss one of the barrels, I think you fail.
Yeah. Interesting.
If I remember correctly.
Interesting. Yeah, because you were saying when was the last time you played this?
Like 3 months ago. It was like around when the game first came out.
So I mean, it was like October, like when it came out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not too horrible for not playing a game, because I mean, there's a lot of games that came out since that VR game.
Yeah.
So,
I remember some things, especially things that I played over and over again.
Right. Well, before I continue on, I just wanted a quick note for people too. I know, like, since Matt, you missed the other podcast that we all did, but Until Dawn, the actual game itself, actually has a soundtrack you can purchase on iTunes. I believe you can't actually physically get it, so it's only digital only, but it's $10. You can get it on iTunes. 14 tracks, and it's from Jason Graves, who also did Dead Space, which is another game I'm going to have to talk about one day on a podcast, because I definitely loved Dead Space. But anyway, back on track. Matt, what... I guess we were saying, there really isn't much we can really say about the VR game, but if you had to think of something that anybody would want to know, what would you think that would be? Well, go ahead, and then I'll say what I was gonna say.
The best thing to note for this game, like especially if you're buying a VR, you can buy this in the bundle with the VR without the Move controllers, and it's still cheaper than the Move controller bundle. So if you were to buy the VR, I'll try to buy that bundle because it's definitely worth it to get with this game.
Okay. So
So
what I
that's
would...
like the.
Oh,
Well, go ahead.
no, go ahead. I'll let you finish. I thought you were finished.
Oh, so that's like the biggest thing, pretty much, to let people know because the game is fun, but you can't really say too much without spoiling it. This game because it's not too big,
Right.
but you can replay it a lot. So yeah,
Yeah, like you were saying, there's a lot of replayability.
yeah, there's different tracks and stuff like that and collectibles. So
Right. So I guess the only thing left to really ask Matt is a couple things. I got real. This next one is like a two-part thing in one question, but it is what did you like about Until Dawn Rush of Blood in VR, and what did you not like about it? Like, is there anything that you liked or disliked?
the like I said, the controls were okay, but the controls could have been better. But I see why the controls were a little clunky. It's probably because of the camera. Because if you're not the camera can't see you, then obviously you can't see the controller. So that was a little messed up. And what I did like about the game was the fact that it was more Until Dawn.
Okay.
I really liked Until Dawn, except something we're going to probably be talking about later. So I don't want to spoil that yet.
Alrighty. And then the final question, Matt, is: did you see a purpose did you see a purpose of Supermassive Games making this VR game for Until Dawn? Like, did you see a purpose in making it?
I think I know what they were going for. I think they were trying to show you scares in a different way, and they were trying to do the VR experience too. They're probably new at it too, so you never know. They might make it like a new Until Dawn experience for the VR, but based off the real game. But for right now, I think this was a test for them, and I think they did a pretty good job.
Okay. Okay. So, let's move on to the actual Until Dawn game now. So, anybody that's listening, feel free to end the podcast if you'd like to, because, I mean, you may have already heard some of this that Matt may say or may not. So, stay around. Stay around. This isn't going to be a really long podcast just because, like I said, we already covered it last time, but it was not a off-season episode. But anyway, but I just thought we would give Matt a take on his experience with the main game of Until Dawn. But I really wanted him to be on the last episode just because it would have helped as we were all talking about it. Because I bet a lot of people when we were having 6 of us or 5 of us, however many there was, I don't even remember now. But I mean, some of my friends may have had questions for Matt that he could have answered because they were probably curious. Right. But so okay, Matt. Let's go back to my old notes to when I asked them. Okay, so Matt, what was your first what's this say, trailer, preview, article, whatever, of your like, pretty much what got you into Until Dawn? Like, what was the first time, what was the first time you heard about Until Dawn? There we go.
It was actually at E3, and it was a trailer where the girl was in the bathroom, like in the bathtub. And,
Sam, yep.
Yeah, and they did they were pretty much doing the gameplay. And then after they showed that part, it pretty much showed her getting chased through a hallway by Josh. And that was my first trailer. And then after that, you introduced me to the actual Until Dawn trailer, but I think they rebooted it or something like that.
Yeah, so I must have showed you the original idea of Until Dawn. That was supposed to be first person and for PS3, which I did chat about on the last podcast.
Yeah, that's how you introduced me to that, so I had no idea about that. But yeah, I saw the E3 trailer 2000. What was it? 15?
Oh God. Maybe
I remember
13, 14. I want to say.
Yeah, it was probably way back then.
Yeah.
We've known each other for a while, so.
Yeah, exactly. But I believe the game came out in like 2015, I think. Alright, anyway, continue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, continuing on, Matt, the next question is character build. And what I mean by that is, like, as you were playing Until Dawn, did you feel like you got to know the characters?
Some of them I did, and then some of them I just thought were there to, like, try to get you to kill them off or something like that.
Kind of like Emily, which
I
we'll
think they're
definitely
just,
get to at some point.
yeah.
But,
So,
yeah. Like, did you have any favorites?
yeah, I didn't mind Matt, and I didn't mind I forget his name, the main character you played as, the one that always had the gun and everything. What's his name?
Mike?
Yeah, Mike, sorry. Yeah, Mike. I actually liked Mike because at first I didn't. I thought he was like a douche, and then I got to know him and like he was trying to protect his friend and stuff, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got to know him more than probably all the other characters.
So, okay, so did you feel like you relate to Mike more than anybody else, would you say?
Yeah, but I also liked Josh though. Josh was pretty cool. I know him from TV shows and stuff like that, so it's pretty cool to see him in the game.
Very nice. What TV show did he on? Because I know he looked familiar, but, like, what shows?
Hacker Show, Mr. Robot on the
Okay.
USA channel.
Okay. So this next question is like a two-part, Matt, if you remember the storyline. But did you think that the way they told the stories, or stories, I should say, did you think that they pulled it off well?
Yeah, it definitely did, and I hope they make another game like this if they make another one. And yeah, I thought it was fucking fantastic. Like I have no complaints about the game, except one thing. Like I said, though, we'll bring that up later.
Yep.
And yeah, it was a really good game. I thought that from the beginning to the end, I was hooked on it. Like I didn't want to stop playing it at that one point.
Right. So how did you? So the next question would be everyone survived, but before we go to that, I have a note about the therapist. How do you like the therapist?
I thought he was a good part of the story, to be honest. I know some people didn't like him, but I actually liked him because he would ask you questions, and depending on what you said, he would actually put that stuff in the game. Depending on like what you said you're scared of, he would
Right.
actually put those in the game. For example, like a needle. If you said you're scared of that, he would put that in the game. Or if you're scared of a gun, he would put a gun in the game.
Which I think they pulled that out because I honestly don't remember that question.
They pulled the gun part out.
Like the question between are you scared of needles or are you scared of guns? I really don't remember if that's in there or not.
Yeah, the needles one because there's one part where he sticks you in the neck with a needle, and that I think they purposely like you see that no matter what if you get caught on that part. But since I said I was scared of needles, I think they put it in the game. I don't know. Like there was this one part he said, "Are you scared of gore or something like that?" I'm pretty sure, and I said yes, and they put more like
Blood.
when you're in the
There was
room
definitely
with
more blood.
yeah.
Because
Yeah, when you're in the room with him, he would put blood in the background and stuff. I was like, whoa, that's weird.
yeah, even the therapist himself had blood on his like forehead.
Yep.
Yep. So
Or if you said you're scared of like spiders, another example, he'd put spiders in the room.
yeah, or snakes, or cockroaches,
Yeah,
or scarecrows, or clowns, like whatever. Which I think that's where they got the clown idea from for Until Dawn Rush of Blood. I think they took the clown idea from the actual main game. If you kind of notice that yourself.
Yep.
Alright, so yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the missions I was talking about too, where like the stages look different when you start.
Yep.
You go in this guy's mouth or depending on what it is on Rush of Blood, and it's pretty cool.
So, next question is, everyone survived. When you first played the game, who survived with you the first time?
My very first time when I played, I tried to save everyone, I think. But one of the collectibles I went after for some reason didn't work. And the only person I didn't save, and I didn't know at the time you could save Josh. Spoilers.
Spoiler!
But yeah, I got the collectible, and some reason it said I didn't save Josh, so I didn't save everyone. But that's what I tried doing my first try. And since that didn't work, I ended up killing everybody my second try.
So I just want to make something clear on this. Did you actually read the one collectible you're supposed to read to save him?
Yeah, it was in the water, but at the time, I think supposedly it didn't work because I didn't have all the collectibles. But someone told me you only needed that one collectible for him to actually save him, so I don't know which is actually true.
That is
Someone
true.
in the comments will probably tell us.
That is true, by the way. You don't need all the collectibles.
Oh, yeah, so then I definitely had that one, because I was following Brian from PS4 Trophies to get my collectibles.
Okay. So you...
Just to make that clear.
So yeah, that you just kind of just answered everybody then. Like, well, we'll switch up this question a little bit. So, when you went to kill everybody, or even if you didn't go to kill everybody, but like, who did you not like the most in Until Dawn that you were just like, I can't wait to just kill them in the game? Like
the girl that was dating Matt.
So Emily. Emily.
I didn't like her at all.
Yeah, me.
I thought
me
she was
either.
nosy. Yeah.
She's too stuck up. She's a fucking bitch. She doesn't have any respect for Matt whatsoever. And like, just, I mean, kissing Mike even, like when they were like in that private little chat. Which, Matt...
That's why at first I thought Mike was a dick.
Which, Matt, that brings me to a small little question, if you remember, but when you were Ashley, when you were looking for the telescope, when you first saw that Emily was kissing Mike, did you tell Matt to look at the telescope, or did you just, like, shrug it off like nothing happened?
I shrugged it off only because I kind of felt bad for Matt. I didn't really want him to know that.
Right.
But to be a dick my second playthrough, I actually did tell Matt, and I thought it was pretty funny what he does.
Right.
He actually gets into a fight with him.
Right. Let's see here. So we got that down, talking about the people. Was there anybody else that you hated the most in the game, besides Emily?
I didn't like the girl that could possibly die on the elevator. I forget her name too.
Jessica?
Yeah, I didn't like her either. I thought she was kind of slutty. But she was funny at the same time on some of the scenes.
That's right. Me and Mike are gonna fuck. It's gonna be hot.
Exactly. That's the scene right there.
Fucking God. Yeah.
Me and you were dying when we were watching that.
Oh my God. I always still die on that just because it's just so funny. It really is. Like, I would love it if I was ever on a camping trip and all of a sudden I hear this random ass girl just go, "Yes, you want? You can watch us because we're gonna fuck." And I would be like, "What? What's going on here?" Oh man. So I guess a couple other things that I'm seeing here, and then we'll go into if we missed anything. But did you save the wolf the first time?
When you can hit him with the axe, that part?
Nope. I mean, like, remember when Mike goes back to the place, and then the wolf becomes your partner?
Oh. No, I didn't save him my first time. No. I didn't even know about it. I don't think my first try.
Yeah, where all you had to do was barricade the door and lock it. Yep. I don't think a lot of people knew about that. to be honest.
No, I didn't even know, dude.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Oh, and what did you do about, this is when near the end of the game, but this is during the part where everybody's trying to get to the, cabin, I think, or some shit. I'm trying to remember the part now, but anyway, it's the part where, like, Ashley is kind of falling behind with the group, and then all of a sudden, she thinks she's hearing someone. So you can either stay with the group or go investigate the sound. Did you go investigate the sound, or did you stay with the group?
I investigated the sound because I think there's a collectible in there.
Yeah, there's a trophy for investigating the sound, so...
Yeah, I died actually my first time doing it though because I actually went down there.
Yeah,
I think I died, but I restarted my PS4 or something like that. But yeah, I accidentally went down there.
which I'm gonna tell people right now too, as a note, if they really don't know this, or when you get to that part where Ashley can decide to investigate the sound or stay with the group, go and investigate the sound because there's like a totem there. There's like, I believe, another note. Like, there's a couple collectibles, but you don't have to investigate the sound. If you just keep on walking, you will eventually just get caught up to the group again. So you don't have to check out the sound. I mean, if you want to check it out that one time, then do it. By all means, to get your trophy, just do it just to get the trophy, and then otherwise, keep on going. Unless you're trying to kill everybody, then go and investigate the sound.
Yeah, and if you mess up, just turn your system off and turn it back on, and it will be at your last save, which is before she goes in there. So.
Yep. Let's see.
But yeah.
Go ahead.
But yeah, just jump down. I think you have to jump down from a ledge or something like that.
It's like a wedge or a hole. I don't honestly remember. I just remember you can go back to the group though.
Yep.
Let's see here. I'm looking at my notes. We talked about a lot, man, but I mean, I wrote down only certain things too. So, the last thing that I really... Oh, no. Here we go. So, the first time, Matt, when you... It was, what would that be? It would be chapter 6, and it was like the second time Chris had to choose to choose to either shoot himself or shoot Ashley. Who did you shoot?
Yeah.
So who did you shoot? Or did you not even shoot?
I shot myself.
You shot yourself.
I shot myself. Yeah, and nothing happened. I was actually really surprised.
Well,
I thought my character was going to die.
Well, I know I said it on the podcast, and I'm going to say it again, but the first time, though, when, that's another thing we can talk about, Matt, is the first time when you're Chris, and you got to choose between saving Ashley or Matt. I felt like I was playing Saw.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Yeah, like the video game or something, yeah.
Yeah. Just because, I
wonder if
make a choice. Who lives, who dies.
Yeah, I wonder if they were inspired by Saw on that part or something.
Well, it wouldn't have just been that part. It would have been the shooting part, too. Could once again, Josh goes, oh, by the way, this is another decision today that Chris has to make. To either shoot himself or shoot Ashley kind of thing.
Yep.
I mean, I know there's an option to not shoot anybody. You can just let the timer go down. But, I mean, just to make it go by faster, I just usually shoot myself or Ashley, depending on what I was trying to do.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't know you could let the timer go down. I thought, like, you had to choose something, so I just shot myself. I was like, ah!
Yeah, see,
I don't want to kill anyone.
I figured that if the time went down, you were gonna get like your head split open by the saws that were like right above your head.
Yeah, or he kills both of you.
Or that's what I mean. The saw blades would have killed both of you.
Yeah.
But okay, let's see. I guess really the last thing I have, Matt, before you can take the mic on what you wanted to tell. But what did you enjoy? Did you enjoy the game, and what didn't you enjoy about the game?
Yeah, I like the game a lot. I think some of the collectibles kind of maybe not like the collectibles in the game, but besides that, the game was awesome. And like I said, if they make a new game, they'll probably fix whatever most people didn't like about the game. But me personally, I thought the game was awesome. The storytelling was good in it, and it was a surprise for me. I didn't think it was going to be as good as that it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they definitely blew my mind when they finally, spoiler alert, showed that Josh was the killer the whole time, and then you first get that story, and then it gradually turns into something more sinister, where you learn that there's a Wendigo, and it's the myth of the Wendigo, where if somebody eats human flesh, then the curse of the Wendigo happens.
Yeah, the thing about Josh, I mean, when I found out he was the killer, I kind of kicked myself in the ass because they did have notes playing around saying that Josh was seeing like a psychiatrist. But at first I was like, oh no. I wasn't thinking about it, and then to find out once he was the killer, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. I'm actually trying to tell my girlfriend this. When she replayed Until Dawn again, which she just got done playing it again after we did our first podcast about it last week, which was funny. But what was I gonna say? Oh, it was the part where you were talking about earlier about when you first heard of Until Dawn. If you didn't get caught by Josh as Sam, then you would have found the evidence that you were just kind of talking about, Matt. About Josh being the psychiatrist or the therapist and stuff like that. So you wouldn't seen or heard, depending on like what you found. I know there was a tape recording, and I'm pretty sure there was like more notes too. But that definitely,
there was a note.
Yeah, it definitely shows how crazy he went after losing both his sisters.
Yep. There's pretty much a note saying he was seeing a doctor, and the doctor told him he had to take his medication or something like that.
The antidepressants, I believe.
Yeah. But I never thought about that until after I beat the game, and I was like, whoa, that blew my mind a little bit.
Right. Yeah, I really think that even though it was supposed to be PS3 and it was supposed to be first person, but I think the change from first person to third person, and as long as it took to actually make the game, I really think they did a phenomenal job. Graphics were spot on, especially for like a winter wonderland mountain place. And I mean, it just felt like you were creating your own story or movie, depending on how you looked at it.
Yep.
But what was there anything you didn't really like about the main game?
The main game,
was there anything?
I don't know. I actually thought the main game was really good because there's so many decisions you can make. You could go back and beat the game again if you wanted to. Matter of fact, I think I ended up, after I got over being mad about that one trophy, I went back and played the game a couple more times. So you can definitely go back, play it multiple times, and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, it definitely has replayability. Again.
Yeah, again, both games have replayability, so that's good.
Yeah. I mean, I personally haven't played Rush of Blood because I don't own a VR, but I have seen you play it from, I believe it was either SharePlay or from you streaming it, one or the other. Which, it does look phenomenal. I mean, it just seemed weird, I guess, for me. I don't know if it would be up my alley for a type of game like that, but, I mean, I do hear great things of the game.
That could get into, we could go into the subject of people getting sick from the VR, too.
Yeah, why not? I'll let you take that since you know more about that than I do. So, go for it.
If you're not careful with the VR, that's why I don't really recommend it for kids. You can get sick from it. Like my sister tried it, and she took it off after like a few minutes because she said she got really nauseous. That never really happens to me except on the race car game, Drive Club. I played that, and since you're in like a cockpit and I don't know if it's just a view that you had, but that game actually made me really sick.
Wow.
But none of the other games made me sick, except Resident Evil, the demo. That made me sick, but the base game didn't make me sick, so they must have fixed it somewhere.
Yeah, probably like a motion blur thing, because that's what it seems like with even sometimes regular games. If they have that motion blur, then people get sick. But if you don't have the motion blur in a game, then most people won't get sick.
What I think it is too, if you get drop my controller. If you get car sickness, you're most likely going to get sick from the VR, or even boat sickness, any type of sickness like that, any type of motion sickness. If you already have it without playing the VR, you're really going to have it playing the VR.
Yeah, because your eyes aren't really adjustable for that, I guess would be maybe the proper term. Somebody can correct me in the comments.
Yeah. And to get used to the VR, all you have to really do, like my first time playing it, I got like a headache, but not really nauseous. I didn't feel sick. But I think it's because your eyes get strained out. And if that happens, all that really means is you just have to keep playing it every day and you'll get used to it.
Right.
Same with the sickness. Some people said they played it after getting sick and they got used to it. So it might be the same thing there. And if you don't like roller coasters and you play until Dawn Rush of Blood, you can actually get over that, because I don't like roller coasters in real life personally, and I played this game, and I was in like a rocking chair, and dude, I actually felt like I was on a roller coaster. It was weird. It's really weird, dude.
I've been on a couple roller coasters in my life, especially the Superman roller coaster, and I still remember after I got done with that, I think I went on that like 5 more times.
Yeah, I wish I liked roller coasters, dude. I went on a couple when I was a kid, and I get sick. I'm like,
Yeah,
so
it's not for everyone.
Yeah, so playing this game, dude, when you get on like a high hill, I'm just like, oh, my stomach.
Right. But
yeah. Not motion sickness.
But yeah, but that's really everything that I have, Matt, and everything that I pretty much asked you. Is there anything else that you could maybe suggest of the game or VR in general?
VR is good. It's going down in prices in certain GameStops, if you can even find it. I know they're hard to find, but if you are a little skeptical about it, just wait until the price goes down and check it out.
Yeah.
Definitely buy this game. You'll love it.
Yeah, I'll probably wait till like Black Friday, because I'm hoping they might do a sale on VR. Hopefully.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So that would be when I would get it. But yeah, Matt, if you're all set, then I'm all set.
Yeah, we're all set here. If I have any updates, of course, we can always make more until Dawn will, whatever.
Yeah, we can always do something along the lines of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Matt, thank you for joining me again on this off-season episode.
No problem, buddy. Sorry I couldn't make it last time.
It's all good, man. It's just life, you know. I think you would have had a blast, though, because a couple of us were drinking in the podcast, like me. But, no, it was definitely good. It was 2 hours and like 36 minutes we chatted for. I mean, it was our longest one and most guests on our podcast yet. And we definitely aren't ready to call it quits yet, because there's a lot more to discuss for horror out there.
Oh yeah, man. You got dozens of movies, dozens of games.
Dozens of freaking horror figurines and horror music.
Books.
So, I mean, we got a lot of stuff that we can go over. But yeah, Matt, so once again, for the people listening, state where we can find you again.
Gaming Hours, and to make it easy, I might change it soon. But we'll do an update on that. But for now, it's just Gaming Hours on YouTube, and Young Red Dog 158 on Twitch if you want to go follow me over there.
That sounds good. And you know me.
Thanks for having me, Paul.
Yeah, always, man. Always. It's always a pleasure to have you too, because, I mean, you'll probably be on here a lot anyway, because you're so far the only person that I know that had the VR. I mean, I know a couple other people, but you're usually the only one that gets back to me.
Yep. And I play, you know me, I play almost every game, so just let me know what game and I can review it and then talk about it.
Maybe like sometime next week, Matt, you and me can sit down and think of a day where we could talk about the VR games of like horror games or something. Maybe we'll figure out something there along the lines of that or something.
Definitely. Like if any game developers watching this, you guys should make more horror games for the VR. Those games are awesome, and that's all I gotta say about that. I'll buy them if you do.
Yeah, you hear that? So make more horror games for the VR. All right, everybody. Yes. Thank you for listening to another exciting, somewhat interesting episode. Well, it was interesting, but I mean, it's not as long as our usual hour almost. But we're running on 47 minutes, almost 48 minutes. I just wanted to quickly have a chat with Matt, with you guys about Until Dawn Rush of Blood for the VR. For people who may have wanted to hear about it in the last podcast, which we didn't get a chance to because Matt was not available at the time. So, Matt, thank you again for joining us. And I am Paul Dolsky. You can now find us on YouTube, which I will drop the links after this podcast is up, where you can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Podbean. And you can also donate to us now. I also have a donate button that you guys are more than welcome to donate to us if you like what you're hearing so far to help keep the podcast alive. We also have a Discord now that you can join. I definitely made a link so that it's unexpirable, so you can pretty much share it to everybody. And on that note, I am Paul Dolsky from Everything Horror, and you have just been dismissed. Thank you again.